Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Nasscom Women Product Champion interview series. Today we are talking about the intersection of technology and mental health and how innovative startups are using cutting-edge tech to create effective and accessible solutions for mental health. Brain and mental health is an issue that affects us all, yet it's an area that has traditionally been underserved, stigmatized, difficult to access. Our guest today is at the forefront of this important movement, leading an initiative that is transforming brain health. We are thrilled to have Ramya Yellapragada, who is a 25-year-old co-founder of Marbles Health. Marble Health is a brain and mental health startup that is creating safer and efficient solutions by leveraging neuroscience, psychology, and AI. As we all know, India has a rich heritage and practices like yoga, meditation, mindfulness, yet brain health is still an underspoken area, and it's in fact a taboo in many places. Marble Health and Ramya, along with her team, are on a mission to bring back the focus on brain and mental well-being in India and around the world. I would like to invite Ramya to this interview, and Ramya, thank you so much for making our time today to come and talk to us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to represent Marbles Health here.
Great. So before we get into the conversation, Ramya, I would want to tell everyone a bit about you, what you have done so far. Ramya is a graduate of IIIT Delhi with a degree in computer science and computational biology. And her company has been recognized as one of the top 7 mental health startups of 2021. Kudos for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, join us as we are going to be talking about Ramya, her journey as an entrepreneur, her experiences in launching brain and mental health product, and also hear from her the insights on mental well-being and women in technology.
Sure.
So Ramya, let's get started. Now, as I was just telling everyone, you've graduated from IIIT Delhi with a degree in computer science. Then you decided to enroll at Plaksha University, where especially for the program Tech Leaders Fellowship, which is for AI and ML and entrepreneurship. Now, how did your education and background in computer science and fellowship at this university help you prepare for your role as a co-founder in Marble Health, which is playing in the brain health category? Like, just talk to us about that.
So I think whoever I am today not just comes from my upbringing, but also my fundamental education that I've received at IIIT Delhi and at Plaksha. So IIIT Delhi is known as one of the most rigorous computer science curriculums, especially its focus on research, and true to its word, the stuff there, like the coding and the technology, and in fact even some amount of hardware that I've learned back in IIIT in 4 years has been a groundwork from which today, like if I have to learn about a new technology or understand, or I'm managing the software team at Marbles, and to manage software teams you need to be up to date about technology, about processes, and it's shocking to me that still that fundamentals have helped me so much that today if I look at any new technology, like it takes me very little time to adapt to it or learn about it or understand the ins and outs of that new technology. So I think all of that has come from the rigorousness of the curriculum and whatever we've done at IIIT. And I've also sort of done a minors in computational biology there. So that's given me a fundamental in both neuroscience and biology, which is necessary because I'm working on a brain health company and it's very technical in nature.
Absolutely.
Right. And so after that, when I went to Plaksha, what Plaksha gave me is product thinking. How do you think of products and how do you build products, user focus, and most importantly, it gave me a belief that even I can build a company, because we met so many founders from fintech, biotech, agritech. Like it was crazy. Like no, you cannot say that one founder is the same, like all founders are the same, but they have this crazy, passion and, amount of optimism in them that their solution will work and they can get it out there. And I think that belief also over time sort of strengthens. And I think just that belief of, you can do it too is something like I got through Plaksha after hearing so many founder stories and knowing that they've also come from the same place that you have. Yeah.
So I think if I have to summarize, you're saying that you're a technologist at heart,
yes.
So hardcore technologist.
Yes.
So that has helped you, bringing that expertise to marbles when you're building it, and of course, passion to solve problems and keeping user or the customer at the heart of it is what I think you've learned and you've kind of done throughout in your educational span, and that's what you are trying to do and build at marbles. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now I know this, Ramya, that health tech in itself is a hard space. It's quite complex. It's a very regulated market across the world mostly. But mental and brain health is even tougher. And given that it's a relatively new space, of course, in the last few years there has been a growing focus on mental health in India. More and more millennials are openly talking about their experience in therapy. More and more employers are providing mental health benefits to their employees, and managers are being encouraged to undergo coaching and talk openly about how they are feeling, rather than just working, right? So it started, right, but it's quite slow. Now, but when you're building a company in that space where a lot of it is unknown and still not ventured, I'm sure it's challenging, right? So, and even more so because you started this during pandemic. So can you talk to us about the uncertainties or challenges that you faced, when you were starting Marbles, and how have you navigated, or, what really helped you to overcome those challenges?
Oh my God, I think this is going to take a long time. I'll try to summarize as best as I can. I think starting a company in itself is a big deal.
Yeah.
And moreover, starting it in a deep tech space,
yes.
And that too in deep tech, not just a software, but like a hardware solution, is even tougher. And add to that it's a medical technology product, and the complication is just enormous.
You can't get it wrong.
Package all of this in a COVID pandemic setting, and we have just been through about everything, and I hope it just gets easier from here. So I mean, like when we started in the pandemic, we've hardware products, you actually need to physically test them. You need to involve a lot of people in the process, like PCB manufacturers. You need to go source materials for your headband, like the mechanical design. Then you need to assemble them somewhere. You need to go visit these sites to see if the quality is being maintained. You need to procure components. So it's not just you. So in software, it's very easy to just sit on a laptop, code, and sort of everything is sort of, available on the internet. But in hardware, it's a lot of, moving parts, and it's not just you. And during pandemic, I think we lost about 8 months just because vendors shut down. They were not allowed to operate. Component sourcing, most of the electronic components come from China. That was sort of closed down. So we had to sort of get these from third party sources. First, you have to test those components to see if they work. Are they legit, real? So I think finding trusted manufacturers who we can, we don't have to visit, but, can entrust their judgment and their, through pictures, through video calls. I think all of this was like a huge process. And second, because it's a medical technology product, and we had to validate the technology with doctors. So in fact, we had to go to the hospitals during the pandemic, and that was also significant personal risk.
Absolutely.
Because we had to visit these hospitals and, stay in them and talk to these doctors when there was a huge pandemic happening.
Yeah.
So I think, these were operational challenges that we had. And other than that, I think India in general is not looked towards as a deep tech company,
Yes.
a place you can start a deep tech company from. So I think just changing or just convincing customers or people or VCs that it is definitely possible, and we can lead the change sitting in India. I think that was something that took us a long time to learn, and how to go about doing that with VCs and with doctors, saying that even though we are developing this from India and we are young, but we are still,
you know what you're doing.
we know what we're doing, and it's going to be quality, and we can compete with the best in the world. I
So
think.
how has that journey evolved now? I mean, are there breakthroughs? Do you want to just talk us, like, where are you now working with what hospital, if it is,
Right.
if
So
you're testing it out?
presently we have a hardware device where we are developing a adjunctive / alternative to antidepressants, mostly like an adjunctive. And this is a wearable brain stimulation device that you can connect, like you connect your smartwatch to your mobile. And it's a 20-minute stimulation session for around 10 days to 20 days. You can do it once or twice a day. And this product we are undergoing clinical trials with across AIIMS Delhi, KMC Manipal, and CIP Ranchi.
Right.
So across these 3 hospitals, we have other hospitals that have also expressed a lot of interest, but we have to choose a few hospitals to go around with. Yes.
So most likely, when can we see the product being officially launched? Is there a timeline?
Right. So through medical products, like you have to do clinical trials, then you have to apply to CDSCO and different medical bodies around India and the world, wherever you want to market it to. And these typically involve a long time. So you have to be really patient when you're doing a medtech product. So we're estimating around early next year that we can, you can go to your nearest doctor and it will be available.
Right.
Apart from that, during this time, we've also launched a software product. So the software product is Healthify Me for mental health. So you will get personalized plans for you for different mental health issues, like anxiety, where you have constantly anxious thoughts that you can't get rid of very easily. For sleep disturbances, like a lot of people these days are not able to sleep on time or have insomnia. And these are the 3 things we're starting with: anxiety, sleep, and third is persistent sadness and depression. So through this, you're not only talking to a therapist, but you also have self-paced modules, psychology modules that you can do at your own pace. And these are courses, right? These are a structured program that has been shown to provide at least 45% improvement in your scores within 45 days.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yes, and since you mentioned India is the land of land that originated or provided yoga, mindfulness, meditation. So we are involving the best of breathwork techniques and movement into these personalized structured programs.
And this is rolled out, like we can use this, is it?
That's a great question. So actually our beta is starting on Wednesday, like very recent, like very soon.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested, they can come onto the website and join the beta
program. That's great. Good luck for the launch.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will definitely tell people about it that I meet, so that they can test the product and they can give you the feedback.
Perfect.
Okay, Ramya, let's talk a bit about convictions and beliefs, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I recently read a book somewhere that our bets are only as good as our beliefs. So regardless of the fact that our belief is true or not, it's going to drive our actions, our thinking, and what bets we ultimately make, right? Now, we know that, you come from Vizag, which is a tier 2 city in India. Can you talk about your upbringing and belief system and background that have, influenced significantly your approach of, building marbles and tackling these brain health challenges or mental health challenges in India?
Yeah, I think, as not just as a person, but even building a mental health and brain health company, what you've said is like bang on, right? Like our beliefs shape who we are.
Yes.
And fundamentally, even when therapists work with you, they try to change your belief system. That if you believe that you can do it, or if you believe that, everything bad is happening to you, that's what's sort of going to materialize in your future. So, I really love the question that, your belief system actually shapes who you are. And to that effect, I think so. I grew up in a military household. Like my dad is from the Air Force, and I fundamentally throughout my childhood, what I've understood is that I can gel anywhere, right? Like you pick, so every 3 to 4 years we used to change schools, and children are not really the best people to gel with. So if you can adjust every 3 years, right from like age 0, like in a new environment, then you can basically
you can thrive,
be comfortable anywhere. So I think there's a large part of me that is very thankful for that. And and socialization also comes very naturally to people in defense, because there are a lot of get-togethers that happen, because it's a community, and it's very hard for you to establish a community if you're constantly changing. So the defense people become your community. So that way, I think socialization and relationship building, that way came from there. But fundamentally and most importantly, what really made me start a startup or have such lofty ideals and dreams came from my dad. He was also very supportive all the time that, your career or your work, like it comes first, and, you can do whatever you set your mind to. And I think that focus has always come from him. I think that was, a large part that I have to thank. And secondly, having studied from IIIT, and, like, I think somewhere along the way, I had some inherent confidence in me, like through probably my dad and my upbringing, that, job करना है तो कर लेंगे, like wherever, कभी भी like हो जाएगा. But if I want to change something fundamentally or make an impact on the world, like I want to, like now is the best time, and like what better time to start doing it. So I think somewhere people sometimes have worries of what will happen to them or financial. Like I've been very lucky where that belief system and like that background has been like solid.
No, I want to compliment you that at this young age of 25 to have this kind of clarity, focus, and talking about a startup in the mental and brain health space with such conviction, it really kind of depicts how clear you are in your thoughts and about what you're building. Like, you know where you want to get. So it's not that easy for a lot of people at this age think so clearly. So yeah.
Honestly, this will come later, I hope so, but like it takes time to get here, and the earlier you start, the better it is.
Yes. So let's just talk a bit more about Marbles now. Now, I want to know about your product journey from ideation to launch. How did this idea kind of came to be? And talk to us what was the inflection point, and from idea to launch, how you're planning, like how have you gone about it?
Okay, perfect. So right now, in college itself, like I had a few incidents in my friend circle and in my family that helped me understand the limitations that exist when it comes to our brain and our mind. We don't know enough, and there aren't enough solutions to meet the need for a safer solution and a more efficient solution, right? And these solutions are not even personalized, right? There is a huge amount of trial and error that needs to take place when it comes to your brain and mind to see what works for you. And today, unfortunately, it lands. So imagine if you are diabetic, like if you still don't, sometimes with diabetes through lifestyle changes you can reverse it, but you still don't do it. Imagine that's because of motivation, energy, like it's a physical illness, but you still don't change it. Coming to mental health and the mind, if your mind itself is struggling, how are you expected to make lifestyle changes or do something significant towards it, right? So the idea today is that if you're struggling through a brain health issue or a mental illness, then you yourself are expected to find a solution that works for you. You can try medication, you can try yoga, you can try meditation, mindfulness, or you can try therapy, right? But how are you supposed to do this when you yourself are struggling?
Yeah.
So, there's a huge gap in the space where there is not enough personalization, not a place where I can say that I trust this place to give me a solution that, is tailored to me. And not just that, like even with some issues out there, like if you go to a doctor, it takes a long time for the medications to take effect. And sometimes it works for some people and it does not. So there needs to be a third solution here that can, bridge that gap. So through these personal experiences, I came to understand that there's a huge gap in the space, and that's where I started minoring in computational biology. We did not have a minors in computational neuroscience, but I would have if I could. So that's where I started understanding more about the brain, and went to Plaksha, wanted to do an entrepreneurship fellowship because I wanted to understand, like, if in the future I want to set up my own company and make an impact in the space, how do I start thinking and what do I do? And serendipitously, like, I sort of, just after Plaksha, it happened that, this sort of very clear vision emerged in front of us. And that's when we sort of jumped into it. So that's where it started from. And in fact, the hardware product is what we started with first. The hardware is the wearable. And in fact, we went to a doctor at AIIMS, and this doctor said, who's now on an advisory board, and this doctor said that, hey, this is a problem where I need to give this to patients, but I'm not able to give it because you can't expect them to come to the hospital for 10 days or 20 days at a stretch. They'll have to sleep around the hospital. You develop a solution where I can give it to their houses, or I'll create it myself.
Oh,
yeah. So that conviction from that doctor sort of pushed us to do our own research and talk to others and start on this journey.
Yeah.
And so over time,
so you've already kind of done some kind of validation with your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've also done a pre-market validation study at AIIMS only.
Okay.
And we've seen a 63.8% decrease in depression scores in just 10 days.
Can you tell us, what's the scenario of mental health in India? Like, you're giving the stats that, it has reduced 68%, right. But generally, how is it like? Is there anything available?
Technically, right now, so there are two major things that you can do. One is medication or therapy. So therapy, not a lot of people want to talk about their issues.
Sure.
Plus, there aren't enough quality professionals out there. So we need something that is scalable. Can't rely on this aspect. And then there's medication. And medication is very easy. You just have to pop a pill and hope for the best, right? It's doing a wonderful job. However, it takes some 4 to 6 weeks for it to take effect, right? And during this 4 to 6 weeks, especially with a condition like depression, the patient loses hope that, wo theek ho sakte hain. So, and they end up dropping treatment.
Yeah, they end up dropping treatment.
And around 30% people end up dropping treatment. So, and this is a problem, right? Like, so doctors needed to bridge this gap of, what could we do in this 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can set expectations that you need to wait, but like fundamentally with the illness, it takes a long, like it's a issue, right? So that is that. And medication also just impacts around 55 to 60% of the people. The other 40-45% of the people are sort of left wanting. So there is this gap that we wanted to address. And next, sort of when we were doing this research, we found out, this is before pandemic stats, but there was this study done by the World Economic Forum and WHO together, and they found that the economic loss from mental health issues by 2030 would be more than the loss put together by cancer, diabetes and respiratory disease combined.
Oh my God.
You can just imagine the kind of productivity loss that is occurring. For governments, for companies. So it is no longer a thing that you cannot physically observe. It needs to be addressed ASAP, and we want to lead that change.
Sure. I know. I think this is a huge burden. Can you just very briefly talk us, like, while we are discussing this, how does your, Bubbles product that you're going to be launching pretty soon fit in this segment? Like, what technology are you using and how you're doing it? Like, very briefly.
Perfect. So, Marbles Health is a universe of brain health solutions. So, we want to develop a range of e-medicine solutions. So, the first product that we're working on is called Ease. And it's a headband that you can wear from the comfort and safety of your home that provides neuromodulation or gentle brain stimulation.
Okay.
And this is like your medication works on your biology, even stimulation works on your biology. In fact, it is safer to a certain, like it's safer than medication also. It doesn't have a lot of the side effects that medication has.
Okay.
So you just have to wear it for 20 minutes a day, or 2 times a day, and use it for 10 or 20 days for a one-time treatment option, and then you can continue to use it over a period of time.
Okay.
So this is the first product that we're working on. So this headband comes with its own mobile application that you can start stimulation, stop stimulation. There are certain activities that you do while you wear the headband on for 20 minutes. So this is the first product. This is for people who've been diagnosed with depression and are in the starting stages, moderate depression stages. Now, the second product that we have is a mobile application, which is, as I said, a Healthify Me for mental health. And we're starting with 3 things: anxious thoughts, sleep disturbances, and depression or persistent sadness.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Great. No, this is really interesting what you're doing, and I can't wait to, for you to actually launch the headband and hear the success story. So, all the best for that. I just want to say that, while you were talking all this, I was just thinking, it's a tough market to crack. It's a tough product to build. So, and you're like so young. I'm sure, you and your co-founder are like really trying to work hard. But I want to know, what role has mentorship and guidance played in your journey so far as an entrepreneur? And have you sought out advice or mentorship for the product, for what you're trying to build? I mean, can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I think I have to say that mentorship and guidance has been a fundamental to us, because we are very young, and I think knowing how the world works and how business works is very hard to know even when you've been in a job for a long time, and especially starting our professional career like this, we had little to no idea. And actually, I think somewhere that also worked for us, because we were more optimistic than we should have been, right? Because
yes,
sort of the professional world sort of nullifies that a lot in people. So we've been lucky also. And through, for example, Hitesh Oberoi, like the CEO of InfoEdge, and Mohit Thukral, he was the former, I think, president of Genpact, something of that, MD of Genpact, I think. So both of them, I think, have been amazing people to guide us on this journey on a business front and professional front, that way that we both are very technical people at heart, right? And these people are hardcore business and to a certain extent tech, right? And knowing that we are going in the right direction, or like course correcting when we should, and sort of agreeing with us wherever wherever we think there's a strong reason why we're doing something, and just being there as support systems has incredibly helped us in in sticking to this, and sticking through all of the personal journey and ups and downs that have gone by till now. And in fact, Plaksha has given us a huge network of VCs and founders, and it's very easy to reach out to them and say that hey, this is something that we're going through, and even the ability to talk about these problems and situations has come through this mentorship and through this network. That they, like, as a founder, you feel that whatever is happening to you is a big thing, and it's happening to only you, and that is not true. Like there would be 100 other founders that have gone through the same thing, and once you start talking about it, that's when you will realize that this has happened before, and that acceptance has come through this mentorship network and the community that Plaksha provided.
That's great. That's really heartening to know that you have like such a good support system and very good mentors guiding you here. I also, Ramya, want to talk a bit about what are the unexpected or surprising elements of, I know you're just getting started, your entrepreneurial journey has just begun. You were good with tech, okay, and you knew you are a technologist, right? But something that you did not anticipate about becoming an entrepreneur. So can you just talk about what were the unexpected elements?
Okay, so unexpected elements. I think I just talked about it, that guidance and mentorship. So, when I was just starting out, I think we were like starry-eyed people, and through entrepreneurship is sort of celebrated a lot nowadays, right? Like with Musk, Kunal Shah, Paytm, with stellar successes sometimes in front of us. What you see is that just one founder or founders talking about their journey of building this mammoth business and company, and you thinking that it's just them and that you yourself have to build this thing. Like even in India, हमें बहुत बोला गया है कि it's up to you, it's just you in your journey. Like that society aspect has never come in as much. Being in this journey, what I realized is that them reaching there is definitely a lot of their hard work, but a lot of it is also the people that have silently supported them from the sidelines, right? Like guidance, not just guidance, but also making the right connections, funding, support wherever necessary. Like these people, there's one person leading the charge, but like there are 100 people who've sort of pushed them to propel them forward. And in fact, if you hear even celebrity interviews like SRK or like a lot of famous celebrities or even founder interviews, if you listen to them closely, they themselves say that, I'm here because a lot of my hard work through, but like a lot of luck also and a lot of support from the right people. So I would say that this luck aspect and the support aspect has, in the glamorization of entrepreneurship has never been, as put into focus as I think it should be. And that was extremely surprising to me, where sometimes you feel bad that you need the help or you're seeking that help, but actually you should know that others have also sought it. They just
absolutely.
It's not common information.
So you were not anticipating this kind of strong support from the ecosystem when you started out.
The need for it and the building up of the support that the ecosystem has right now. And I think people, because once they start talking about it, then it becomes more common, and the support system is also sort of starting to develop in this space.
Yeah.
And secondly, you mentioned that we were techies, so we do not know a lot about business. So I think learning about it through the mentorship network, etc., and realizing that
any particular pain points you want to highlight there, like when you're building team or something.
So I think being young founders, it's very hard to hire more experienced people and then align them onto your vision. And it's a hard balance to strike. That do you want to take freshers on and mold them to how you want, like the kind of passion that you have, and align them to the vision, or you sort of take experienced people? And there's a lot of challenges that come with that also, like risk taking ability, them being open to listen to someone who's younger than them. I think the amount of interpersonal skills that I had to develop over the years has been more than I expected.
I'm sure you're doing a good job, and I'm sure that you'll figure your way out. And you already have, you have a team of about 10
We
people.
have around 10 plus and a lot of part-timers that are working with us.
So I'm sure as you grow, you'll kind of figure this out and you'll get better at this. Okay, so now I think I have kind of covered all the questions I wanted to know, but we do have a fun segment which we call this or that, where I'm going to ask questions and it's going to be a rapid fire. So you have to pick one out of the options, right? So are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Self-care or hustle culture?
Self-care.
Okay. I thought you'll pick that.
Yes.
Focusing on profit or social impact?
I think profit.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
I actually was thinking that you'll go for the latter.
Actually, NGOs don't survive because they can't make a profit, and you just focusing on social impact will not ensure that you are a long-standing company. For example, today, Paytm has made more social impact than, say, an NGO.
Yeah.
Being a big company who is focused on profits allows you to then say that, okay, I have these profits and now I can sort of create more employment, give back. So as a brain health company and a mental health company, I think over time we realized that we need to start focusing on profits first, and then the impact will follow. Like wherever value creation is, profits follow, and then the impact follows. So I think profits are sort of looked at from a negative point of view, but that is where the real impact lies.
So So you're saying that value creation
Yes.
first, then profits, then impact.
Then impact, yes.
Okay.
It'll follow. It is bound to follow.
Yeah, it is bound to follow. Correct. Okay. So quick decision making or a thoughtful consideration?
I think in the medtech space that I am in, thoughtful consideration.
Okay. Preparing for success or preparing for failure?
Preparing for success. You cannot survive by focusing on the negatives.
Okay. Emotional intelligence or analytical skills?
I think it's a very tough question. It depends on the role that you're looking for. It depends on what you need out of that context.
Mm-hmm. But if you have to pick, like, generally, what would your pick be?
I think emotional intelligence.
Okay. Being a founder or being an employee?
Founder always.
Great. So that sums up our discussion today, but it was lovely chatting with you, Ramya. I wish you all the best for launching your product, the beta version, as well as the headband.
Thank you.
And we wait for it to come and see what what impact it kind of creates. So wish you all the good. But before we leave, there are many women who are listening to this episode, and maybe many young women out there, or women who want to try entrepreneurship. What is the one piece of advice, honest advice, that you would give to them?
I would say that talk to another woman founder. I would not say to jump into something blindly, and ensure that you have a support system that way. And not just a woman founder, but also ensure that you have a support system in terms of like your family or your friends that will stick with you, because it is a very tough journey, and you cannot take it without having a support system in place, especially as a woman founder. You can be headstrong, but you will be tested a lot. So definitely have your support system in place, and pick like a couple of women founders that you've personally talked to before, like jumping into the journey. I think rest all, I'm sure you guys are very intelligent and extremely good at what you do. All you've got to make sure is that you know what you're getting into, and that you have the support system to sort of see you through your journey.
That was wonderful, Ramya.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was lovely chatting to you.
Thank you so much, Shreya. It's my pleasure.